Maybe we should hum.
No.
Hi, everybody. This is Marie and Janet, and talk about it. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. Sorry I wasn't there last week, and thanks to all of you who missed me. I'm here now, back. And Janet, we're very proud of Janet with her launch of her book, Survival Isn't Mandatory. I'm sure you saw that last week on Facebook. And we just want you to know this week we have an announcement, so stay tuned. We're going to let you know the exciting news at the end of this. Today, we're here to talk actually about our next blog that's coming up called Incarcerate or Rehabilitate or Rehabilitate. And it's all about the idea of when predators are incarcerated, can they be rehabilitated? And we have a lot to talk about here today. So thanks again for joining us. Right, Janet?
Absolutely. Well, I'm very excited about the blog this week that's going to be launching next Tuesday night midnight for Wednesday for our social media campaign. And I think it's such an interesting subject that you have done some research on, that when therapists get to the root of the kind of behavior that is a product of sexual assault, that it's an intensive and long-term program within the prison system. And it has to be done with, and I think you bring up the example of the Man Alive program, and it was started
Man
by,
Alive is one of the programs, and I think it's really interesting to note that there are some programs that really do try to help perpetrators once they've been incarcerated. And Janet and I actually see this quite differently, or a little bit differently from different angles. So it makes for interesting conversation.
I
So,
think so, yeah.
of the men that are incarcerated, they do have a chance to change their perspective, to change their ways. Now, does it actually work? Well, probably not as much as we would hope, but I do think it is positive to note that those programs are out there. There are people trying to help these people, and I think it's very important.
Huh.
I think and the Violence Against Women's Act supports these programs. And it's very important that that is supported in going forward.
I
Janet pointed out to me that of the 25 that are incarcerated, there are several that are never incarcerated. And
Yeah,
those
yeah, several. Yes, several.
are big
Like,
numbers, yes.
yeah, exactly. So, 975 out of 1,000 assaults are reported, and maybe 25 are incarcerated. And I think that that changes the equation. And though I, with Marie, honestly believe that these kinds of programs are important to start and keep going inside the prison system, mainly because people are often unfairly imprisoned. People are in prison for a particular reason, but what kind of therapy goes on for them is always important, and I think this is one of them. But the equation really changes overall when 925 of those guys who have been reported go free. That is a danger to the existing population. And over
Well,
40,
and you could also say that of the 925 that are reported, there are so many more that just are never ever reported.
oh, exactly. So the perps are out there. So the question is not, do we need more programs, or are these statistics right or wrong? I don't think that's the question. I think it's important to know that and this is something I spoke about with a man who had a conversation with his son about how to be the kind of father that brings a nonviolent awareness to his son. His son had been
Mhm.
caught in a fight, and his son, when he talked to his son, he had options. He could have said, well, I hope you really punched him in the nose and really taught him who was boss, or whatever fathers say. It's obviously not that. But that if his son is learning violence in his interactions with boys, and it's happening at school, and if there's bullying of girls, or that talk that young boys have about girls,
Mm-hmm.
that they learn respect, that they learn that violence is not an option, that nonviolence is taught as strongly as the violence that's taught at school is
Well,
learned.
that's exactly one of the things that was discovered with these programs in prisons, is that
Right.
a lot of these men just did not know that there was another avenue to go down. They just it had never been modeled for them. They had
Yes.
never seen it happen.
Mhm.
Their fathers, their grandfathers, their uncles all used violence to get what they wanted and to get it done. And that was just the way.
And that was
And
just the way.
so I think it's sad to think that they didn't realize that there was another way to go about it. And I
Well,
think
yeah,
it's
go
good to
ahead.
note that there are very dedicated therapists out there that are really trying hard to, and that's part of what your taxpayer money is going towards in the
Right.
Violence Against Women's Act.
Exactly. If if violence is taught, that beating up your mom is okay because she's a woman, is what happens in some households. And you hear it in kind of a subliminal way, that, oh, it's just a girl, or it's just a woman. And I think
Mhm.
it's important that we be prepared. Be prepared this way, and this is how I feel, what I feel very strongly about, is taking action. And in our newsletter this week, that's going to be coming out this weekend, we have information about where to contact the government on the Violence Against Women's Act, where you can log your request of your congressman and your senators to pass that and ratify it in your state. Women's rights are not ratified in each of our 50 states. There are 2 states that are still holding out and do not even have women's rights ratified in their state. It's
It's incredible.
it's nothing against men either. It's that people are so afraid of making that definitive choice. So, if there's a definitive choice to be made, now is the time for each of us to stand up and scream, and loudly through letters and through emails, that we want the Violence
We
Against
make it
Women
easy
Act
for you.
in place.
Yeah.
So the other part of it is too, and I think it's important to note this. I don't know why, but I honestly think that it's it can get highlighted by this. When we hear about kids in college where boys are accused, and if they're accused of rape, they lose their golden opportunity. And when the girl in that situation commits suicide, we cry and pray. And there's something definitely wrong about that. And I think the Violence Against Women Act will have a huge impact in colleges across the country. I make the point in our blog, Marie, that there was a study done of, um, gosh, Homo sapiens, and that Homo sapiens are not inherently violent. Homo sapiens have evolved into violent people, into
The
violent,
learned behavior.
right? It's
Yes.
learned behavior. And I remember a time when I was working and something happened at work, and I had made a mistake, and my boss asked me to go into the back room to be punished. And in our blog, I talk about that the reaction that I got from the police was, go with the flow.
Yeah.
Exactly which flow was I supposed to go with? There's an assumption in the background that has a lot to do with the blog that we've written this month. So I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I do want to say I think it's a good one, and I think it's worth reading. We always have comments at the end of our blogs, and we want you to comment. So, let us know what you think, how you feel. Do you like this
Yeah.
blog? Do you not like this blog? What would you like us to write about? Anyway,
And thanks to all of you who do comment. We really enjoy reading them and understanding you better.
well, and I think it makes a difference in how we approach subjects.
Speaking of speaking of comments, Janet, weren't you going to show some of the
Oh,
reviews that we've
yeah.
gotten on our book?
Exactly. I'm going to share this screen. I am so excited about this. So, everybody, this is our book, Our Silent Voice, and the reviews that we're getting from David Alexander, Beyond Astounding. From, sorry, I'm going to scroll down here, from Pollywog, Courageous Voices, and from AB. As I read each story or poem, I felt proud for each person and how they found a way to have their voice heard from all the pain they endured. Hopefully, it allows others to know this is a way out if they feel trapped or hurting. And I think that says a lot about what we're about with our next book is it gives you an opportunity. What do you think, Marie?
I think it's great. It's so wonderful to read get this feedback. And yeah, and we've gotten 3 new submissions and we're on our way to the next
Oh, I
volume.
know. I'm
I
so
think it's,
excited about them too. And as I read them, mm, my heart breaks, my soul sings. I want so much to have their voices heard. It's really
yes.
important to us. Yep,
Yes,
exactly.
yes. And it's so wonderful to find out how they felt after they got it down onto a piece of paper.
I
It's
know.
just, it's a transformation. It's a wonderful thing. Yeah.
I think we asked for submissions in our newsletter, and let's see, how did we put it? We said it's powerful to have your writing published. Don't be afraid you'll find out. You will prevail even if you write in a nom de plume, which is a pen name. Some of our submitters are anonymous, and some of them have picked a name, and they remain.
Okay. So Janet, are we at the drum rolls part
Oh, we're
of the
at the
bot?
drum roll part. Yes.
Are you gonna, all right, why don't you make the announcement then?
Okay. So, Talk About It has been a video posted on Facebook, as you know, because you watch us, right? So, to our hundreds of viewers, we want you to know that we are going to be starting a podcast that you can follow. We are going to turn this Talk About It into a podcast, and we're very excited about it. We're learning about how to structure it and what platform to use is very, very exciting new stuff for us. So watch for our announcement on our webpage and in our newsletter. If you're watching this and you haven't signed up for our newsletter, do so. It's an easy, easy read with links so that you can buy the book, or you can give your opinion, or you can pick up a new writing prompt. Lots of things that you can click on in your email, and it takes you right to the spot. One of them is our newsletter, where you enter your email address. Don't be afraid, we don't share it with anybody. But we do give you access to that email, and you'll get it twice a month, and you'll see what we're announcing and when the podcast comes out. You can click on it, it'll take you right to the platform, and you can start listening. We're really excited about it.
Thanks for joining us again, everybody. Bye now.
Bye bye.